Hi everyone, now with only 30 days or so left for the IAT exam, I am here to not motivate you or tell you something very specific that how you should prepare for the exam, but instead I am here to just give you some very small tips which I kept in mind while I was preparing for the IAT exam. I know this time is quite stressful for you, so me giving any motivation is not going to be very specifically helpful. Therefore, what you should keep in mind, whether it is questions, theory approach, or solving mock tests or problems, that is when you should focus on these things right now instead of trying to find motivation on the internet or trying to just read theory to satisfy your need that I can understand theory but still have problems facing the questions in the examination setting. We have several mock tests, we have several questions set out for you in DPP formats. In classes also you do a lot of questions. Given that this is the facility available to you right now, and at my time we barely had any question papers available on the internet for the actual IAT or NEST exam. I could barely scratch the surface and find maybe some questions on the Reddit. Now with the plethora of information and resources available to you, please try to make the best out of it. So I'll give you some very small things or some idea about how I prepared in the last few months and what you can do right now to do and score the best in your exam. So given in mind that you must have solved at least 10 to 15 mock tests throughout the last 2 years and have gained some idea of how the question papers are designed and how the exam settings are. You have given some CBT questions also. I'll tell you, at my time we had no such thing. We had a Google form which SciAstra had designed at that time, and we used to sit with the timer on our own clock or something, and we used to write the questions and answers in that Google form. They used to come with an answer key and we used to match that. Then a leaderboard was displayed. However, for you now have a fully automated CBT mode where you sit down and the timer starts for you. You have an in-screen computer and calculator where everything is there, constants and values, etc. So you have a lot of facility. However, still, in order to use that, you need to have a very good pragmatic approach. My suggestion to you is instead of focusing on just reading the theory, try solving as many questions as possible. We did 2 live sessions previously, one on English channel and one on the main channel, where we had several students whose opinion told us that they are not doing any question practice at the moment, or maybe 5 to 10 questions every day. That is the worst thing you can do to yourself. Instead, try to focus on solving at least 50 to 90 questions every day. In the exam, you will have to solve 15 questions each section, right? So that's 60 questions. So from different chapters, if you start practicing to solve questions right now, then only maybe in the coming 20 days, you'll be able to cover all the questions that are required for each chapter in each subject. So each subject has around 30 chapters or so, right? And you have to start preparing yourself for that. So better start solving as many questions as you can. And then once you're done with the questions, keep in mind what the toppers from IAT exam or any other exam tells you. You need to do mock test in specific mock test setting. That means at least one mock test every day has to be done, bare minimum, at least 15 to 20 days before your exam. So start preparing right now. Get a mindset, start solving the questions so that at least you have the motor running in your body and you have the momentum. And then once you're done with that, then start solving the mock test as soon as possible. The more you delay this, the more procrastination comes to your brain and you start thinking, okay, let me sit down and I'll start doing this before 1 week of the exam, and then by the time the exam arrives, you've only solved maybe 5 questions or 5 question papers in total. Do not do that. This is the biggest mistake. I at my time used to solve 2 mock tests every day. I used to try that, and before the exams I had solved around 30 mock tests SciAstra has provided in the crash course series at that time. So that is the bare minimum you should do. People who have been preparing for more than 6 months for the exams or more than 3 to 8 months, they have been solving mock tests. You are on the same pedestal with them. The starting line is the same for you now, no discrimination. So you have to start getting on that foot and better start preparing as smartly as possible. There is no scope for you to not do the questions and instead just focus on the theory. It's good to have the theoretical approach. It's good to start questions from first principle approach, but it is the best thing if you can do that is in the question paper itself. Some questions may require you to derive things. That is where your theoretical mindset would come into play in physics or math. Maybe sometimes in chemistry also. right? So start doing this as soon as possible. And this is the most crucial advice 30 days before I can give you of the exam. There is no other thing that I want to tell you, that go and relax. Yes, of course, go and relax, take a breath. If you have 24 hours a day, maybe at least 4 hours a day you should relax, play some sport, try to give your body some break. You can't just keep sitting for 9 hours on your desk and start doing everything. If you're solving one mock test a day, that's 3 hours or 3.5 hours given, you check the answer key and all for the whole thing, and then you have the rest for your classes and DPPs and assignments and whatnot. If you're doing a crash course, you have a separate story, but at least give your body a break. And then when you try to refresh yourself and are in the zone to do things, then you start solving the questions. And this is the last moment when your body has to be in sync with the exam pattern. And don't do this at random hours in the day, maybe sometimes at 3 in the afternoon or 8 at night. Do this at the stipulated exam timing at which IAT exam is going to occur, which is 9 to 12 or whatever your shift is. Accordingly, you prepare. This is what you have to do now. This is the time when you have to prepare for this small battle of your life, and you have to give it your best so that you don't regret it at the end of the day. That is the only advice I want to give you. I'm pretty sure you're well prepared, much better prepared than I was. Keep in mind that there is some competition that is doing the exact same thing. So now your competition is with them and with you also. So what you did yesterday, you must do better today. And with this nice note, I want to conclude today's video. I'm Sagar here, signing off. All the very best. I will see you in your Dream Institute. And just a quick note, if you still have any questions or queries or anything that you want to specifically tell us in the comments, please do so. We are always open to answering your questions. We have a team of people who are always dedicated to helping you out. Again, I'm Sagar here, signing off. All the very best. Bye.